It is time that we as women begin to honor and pay much more attention to our PMS phase than we do. We know that we are very sensitive during those few days, but we don't really understand why that is. Every month when we begin our bleeding, we are actually going through a death process of the previous cycle, of what hasn't worked and what we need to release physically, emotionally, and mentally. And if we are not doing that, then we are just accumulating those experiences into each and every new cycle that we are beginning when we are entering the state of rebirth. The PMS phase is a time where our nervous system is completely spiked, where our aura and our channels are very open, and where we operate out of a complete non-bullshit barometer. How many of you have experienced, particularly in those days, that you cannot take things any longer, that you are usually able to just swallow and accept? It's in those days that we receive not just incredibly psychic downloads and messages, but our body, our whole being is telling us what needs to change and to shift. Women in certain cultures, but especially tribes, are way more connected to their body than majority of women in the modern world. And that's because they are aligned with their own instincts, senses, sensuality, rhythm, cycles, nature, and Mother Earth. In the ancient times, in the tribes, women would get away from the men during their PMS phase because women's cycles always sync when they're together. And they would spend these days completely isolated from the tribes in order to gather downloads and messages and informations that they would then, upon their return on the first day of their menstruation, tell the man, and the decisions of the tribe would usually be made depending on what the woman would channel. And that could be any kind of threats, dangers, and especially positive news. If you, during your PMS phase, feel incredibly angry towards someone or certain situations, then this is not random. Your body, your system wants to tell you something. So the next time you're entering those very sacred days in your life, start to journal, begin to write down and to notice what messages come through, but also what your whole system wants to tell you.